Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald in Tuscola at the Flessor's Candy Kitchen, where they're very proud of the fact that they still make candy the way they did 100 years ago. The Flesser sisters rejuvenated this business just 7 years ago, but when you walk in, you'd swear you're in the 1950s. Let's start our tour in the candy kitchen. Well, Devin, we're looking at, it looks like a puzzle of pecans, but it's not really a puzzle. It's the starting point for turtles.
Correct.
You don't call them turtles here.
We call them Paul's Pecan Favorites. The turtle name is trademarked, so we can't use it, but everyone knows this product as turtles.
Yeah, except it's Paul's
It's
Pecan
Paul's
Favorite.
Pecan Favorite.
And Paul was the name of your father, right?
Yes, and his turtles were the best, so I tried to make mine just as good as his.
Are they?
I think so.
Okay, because you do it exactly the same way.
It's the same recipe. This recipe is 100 years old.
That's why I want to see you make it.
Okay.
Because it's 100 years
do
old.
it.
You haven't changed a thing.
No.
Okay. Okay, so it starts with sugar.
Sugar. I have 10 pounds of sugar here, and we're a small batch operation. Okay. Now at home this would seem huge, but here it's a small batch. We don't have machines. So I can only get 10 pounds of sugar in my scale.
Well, and you got to stir this, right?
I have to stir it for a long time.
Yeah, so if it's only so much you can stir.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true, but I am very strong.
You're strong, okay.
So here I have corn syrup. I need to scoot it a little closer.
Okay.
This corn syrup, by the way, is good old Illinois corn syrup. Okay, and we're proud of the fact that we use a lot of it.
That's beautiful.
It is beautiful, and we have to put about 8 pounds in here, so I have to do it a few times.
Well, while you're doing that, I can ask you some more questions.
Absolutely.
Corn syrup, and it comes from Illinois. I mean, is there somebody? Is there a producer here that makes this stuff?
Oh, well,
or how
there are many producers of corn syrup throughout the state. Staley used to be the most well-known in the area.
And this stuff, it gets delivered how? Is it in big?
It's in buckets.
In buckets like this?
In buckets.
Okay.
I buy a little at a time. We have so much going on in our building that we don't have a ton of storage. Out front there, we have, a candy store, a restaurant, a soda fountain. This is a small room, so I just buy a couple buckets at a time.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had 10 pounds of sugar, and you're going to add how much of this? 8 pounds of corn syrup. Okay.
8 pounds of corn syrup.
And then you're going to add milk, and you're going to put into
I'm
a
going
big
to
old
add
copper.
cream.
Oh, cream. You don't use milk.
Oh, I use whole milk also, but I use more of the half and half, because we want it to be nice and rich.
Okay, the richer the better. That's the way Dad
Now
made
you're
it.
going to have to get out of my way, Mark, because I'm going to have to.
That thing, huh? Okay, I'm moving.
Fling. I'm flinging.
Okay.
Flinging. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Oh man, that was quick. I'm glad I got out of the way.
No kidding. Yeah. So
Okay,
there we go.
you use copper. Is there a reason why you use copper?
It evenly distributes the heat, and it's pretty.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and I happen to have it. You use what you have.
For a while, right?
That kettle is 100 years old.
I believe it. It looks like it's been beat up pretty good, too.
It has been.
It's been stirred a lot.
It's been loved. It's been loved. Definitely.
Okay, now we see sugar and corn syrup. And what are the other ingredients of good caramel?
Half and half. I'm going to add a gallon.
A gallon and a half.
Oh
man, that is going to be rich.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so 4 quarts, a half and half.
And
then I don't know how a human being could stir that. It looks like it would be so thick. You are strong, aren't you?
When we first started making candy 8 years ago, when we came back to the candy business, I pulled every muscle in my upper body. I did. The first couple of weeks we were making candy again. I thought I was in great shape too, you know? Because I had young children, I would toss in the air. I thought, oh, I'm really in great shape. But you use muscles you never knew you had when you make candy.
Now, some places, Devin, actually have paddles, automated paddles that would turn
wouldn't that be
You wouldn't
nice?
do that, though, huh?
Well, I would if we had space and I had a little more money. Lifta, they call it in Greek. But no, you know, we do it the old-fashioned way, and it works. It works. No, I dream about an automated stir sometimes. I do dream about it. So if anyone would like to donate, that'd be great. But no, this works, and I tell you what.
Is that a gas?
This is an open gas flame.
Okay.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm teased when I say this, but really, I mean, we're working with a pot, a stick, and fire. Couldn't we do this just about anywhere?
Yeah, and natural ingredients. There you go.
Yeah, I see myself in a castle doing this, you know, in the 1400s. Yeah.
Now, you will stir this for how long?
Approximately an hour.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yes, I will. And that's
do you mind if we turn the camera off for a while? I mean, an hour's a lot of tape for us.
It is. It's boring.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll check back with you.
Please do. I'll be right here in the corner.
How much muscle you gain by then, too. Okay.
Okay.
And I feel like I ought to order a cherry phosphate or something here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, this is like, I feel like I'm back in the 50s again. I guess that's the idea, right?
This actually, our soda fountain, the outside of it, all of our fixtures actually go back to the 19-teens.
Is that right?
Yeah. And these were our original fixtures, and that was a real impetus for us to move forward with this project. But our back bars, our marble bar here, you know, the back bar there were all my grandfather's original fixtures.
So right?
They were in a warehouse for almost 30 years. And when we discovered that, that was a real impetus for us to move forward with the project. The guts to our soda fountain actually are from 1947. And there's one place in Illinois that refurbishes old soda fountains called the American Soda Fountain Company. They have a lot of this liquid carbonic kinds of stuff. I don't know if you can see that. But the fun thing is the son and the daughter, the people who run the American Soda Fountain Company now, are the grandchildren of the guys who started it. And
so
my
you have
grandfather.
a lot in common with them.
Well, my grandfather, that's where he got his stuff.
Is that right?
So it's really kind of that full circle closure.
So your generation and your grandfather's generation did business together. That's kind of interesting.
Which is
That's
very
interesting.
cool. So anyway, so we custom made our own soda fountain to fit into our marble bar. And I will say this, when we put the marble back, Devin and I teared up because this is a real touchstone for my family.
And Ann, it makes you wonder, doesn't it, how many pairs of shoes have trod on this tile floor over the years? The same shoes over and over again, going in and out. This is, I assume, it's the original floor,
This
right?
is our original floor.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And it's over 100 years old. If you go through a lot of the little towns in central Illinois, or even around Springfield, it seemed every town had either a drugstore or a confectionery, a lot of the same floor tile pattern. I think the same guy went through and sold everybody the same kind of patterns for their floors and things. But this floor has been around for over 100 years, and it is original.
It looks beautiful, and you
It
brought
is
that
beautiful.
back. Now, this is interesting over here. This looks like a teller cage.
It does, but it actually was part of all of our fixtures, and this is where my grandfather had his cash register too.
Is that right?
Yeah. So we call it the cage. And yeah, it's so fun for me to literally have our original things, because you know I like that sense of history, but also I feel like part of the family is always with us.
Part of what we're doing here today is we're focusing on the candy making.
Right.
And those recipes are 100 years old.
They are.
But it's also, what is also interesting is that this hasn't been a business nonstop for all those years.
No.
You and your sister brought it back to life.
We did. My dad kind of retired. There's a brother in between. I'm the oldest and the wiser, I will say. That's my joke. And my brother's 2 years younger. And you know, after high school, and I used to sit on the end of the soda fountain and pray to get out of Tuscola, Illinois. And you know, my parents encouraged us to go to college, and you know, we all did. We left town, and my dad, you know, was older, and this is very typical of particularly the third generation of the Greeks. You know, they don't want to to go into the business, because it's really hard work. You know, you'll watch my sister making candy, and you know, around the holiday season, it's 12, 15-hour days. You know, it's grueling work. But there must have been something about it that we loved and something that we missed, because we are here. So my dad retired, we all left, and I mean left, you know, we left town. About 10 years ago, there was a for sale sign in the window, and I was driving through town, and I thought, boy, and just a little, you know, a little light bulb started going off in my head. And I got a bottle of wine. This is kind of our infamous story. And I took it over to my mother's and called my sister. And I said, you know, what would be the most outrageous thing you could think about doing? And my mother leaned over and said, you want to open up this store, don't you? And I said, well, and Devin immediately said, that'd be great. And so we moved forward. You know, we talked to the city. They were very gracious, and they gave us a grant. We got a grant from the state of Illinois. We borrowed money. We found our original fixtures in a warehouse.
What a break that was.
Yeah, and so we put it took a year and a half because this place was a mess. I mean, we gutted it to the studs.
It's beautiful now.
It is beautiful.
It's beautiful now.
And so when all the construction guys came in, it was in January, it was dark, it was cold, it was really cold. And Devin and I are standing there waving our arms, right, with the vision. Because we had the vision, and we had a really rudimentary architectural rendering. It was not very good, but it was kind of the outline of what we wanted to do. And these guys, men, looked at us like we had 5 heads and thought, how are we going to do this? But it all came together, and we put it together, and it is beautiful.
Now the candy counters, you were looking over
My
one
brother
right now,
made
but these candy, of course,
Yeah.
this is all your homemade candy in
Right.
here. But the counters were made. You weren't lucky enough to find those.
No, we
right?
couldn't find those.
They look great.
Yeah, they were handmade. And the back there are the original. So I used to stand back there in high school on the very counter and pack candy boxes, which is great. Yeah.
So the footprint and the
felt really
configuration
at
of the
home.
store is still the same,
Pretty
even
much
though
the
some of the
same.
furnishings are a little
This
different.
was not as big, and there was, and we used to have booths down the middle. But we decided that people are larger these days, and the handicapped accessibility would not allow us to just have fixed, because these tables are fixed to the wall. So they're upstairs. Yeah, but we do have them. Yeah.
So your business consists of making homemade candy, which we have here, and which you send out to some places. Your soda fountain, and your lunch and dinner service.
Yes. Well, no, just lunch.
Just lunch.
Just lunch. Yeah. We do wholesaling with our candy. We do corporate orders, retail. Yeah, so, you know.
Sell as much as you can make, I'll bet.
We sell as much as we can make.
It's a little kitchen.
We're here at
night. It's a little candy kitchen, and you can make, if we could, well, that's about all we can sell, because that's all about all we can make.
Well, you know what it is, though? We never say no, and somehow we do it. We make tens of thousands of pounds of candy in that little kitchen. I don't know how we do it, but we do it in shifts at the holidays, I'll tell you that. So, yeah, but we do it. And it gets really cozy at Christmas, I will say that, yeah.
Well, thank you for this little tour.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Cindy Pfeiffer, you know, most people would think that you have the dream job, being a candy maker.
Yes,
do you sample the stuff too?
I love our caramel. This is peppermint cream that I'm dipping right now.
It's not one of your favorites, huh?
No, I'm not a mint person, but I love our caramel, our cashew brittle, and our toffee. It's my 3 top favorites. This is a peppermint cream that I'm dipping. This is an old school method of making candy. Not a lot of people you'll see do it this way, but Ann and Stephanie taught me how to do this. You take your cream and you flavor it and individually roll it in a ball on a clean apron. You put it in here, you swirl it around.
And that's white chocolate.
That's white chocolate.
Man.
It's white guitar chocolate. Comes in a 50-pound box, 10-pound slabs.
10-pound
Take your
slabs.
little excess off. This is a trick Ann showed me. It was like the revelation of the world to go back this way.
And that way you don't
place
get
your
any.
piece.
Okay, and it's nice clean ball that way. It doesn't have anything hanging off, but it has a little crown on it, which is kind of nice too.
We finish all our pieces, and then I'll come back and sprinkle crushed up peppermint candy on top.
Oh boy, so if you like mint, this is really for you,
Yes,
huh?
and we have a peppermint patty that we dip in dark chocolate also. But Ann's mother was a master dipper. She taught Ann and Stephanie taught me. Now we all can tell who does it. Like we go across this way.
You
You
can
take
tell.
off like a pinch that's about the size of your thumb.
Yeah.
And after a while, you'll get onto it.
And each of you has a little signature design on the top, so you know who rolled it.
Yep.
Now you mentioned dark chocolate. We got dark chocolate melting over here.
And milk chocolate
and
here.
Milk chocolate melting here, and these are in wells that are heated, so this
Yes.
does it on its own. In your case, you had to melt the white chocolate on the stove, and I
Yes.
think some of that's ready. When you run short, Ann's going to bring you some more.
Yep, she
but we get a
sure
chance to
is.
look at how you melt this stuff. Would you ladle some of that on there for us, Ann, just so we can get a look at it? That's right off the stove, huh? Mm-hmm. And that's the consistency you shoot for when you're melting it, just like that.
Not too thick, not too thin.
Oh man, it's beautiful.
It's just like porridge.
Some
just
people
right.
just love white chocolate, and they're salivating right now watching this. Now you ought to be busy till lunchtime now.
Yep, and we call it tempering on our trays. You'll go through here, and sometimes you'll find a little piece of chocolate that's not melted, or it might have separated a little bit, and you want a nice, smooth consistency,
No lumps.
no lumps. And I try to keep it in the middle, but that's not my best thing. I tend to get it all over and then get it back over there. And then you take off a little, and all our creams are hand dipped this way. Each is individually flavored, and we dip every one by hand. If, say, this was strawberry cream instead of peppermint,
Yep.
I roll it in the chocolate. I come across here, and I put it here, and I'll put an S on it. So that if you open in that box and you like strawberry creams, you're going to know that's a strawberry
That's
cream.
clever. That is clever. Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Wow. Now that is a chunk of chocolate.
This is 10 pounds.
10 pounds of chocolate.
10
This is
pounds
the
of
way you buy
chocolate.
your chocolate. It comes in boxes.
Yeah, 50
like this.
pounds.
50-pound boxes.
I don't know, we order, thousands and thousands of pounds of chocolate. This is Guittard chocolate, which is one of the top 3 actually in the world.
Where does it come from?
This is manufactured in California, and then there's a distribution center in Chicago. We're so happy because when we run out, we really run out. And when the truck comes with our order, we go out and hug the truck driver. We
Well,
do.
you can't make candy without
we
chocolate,
do.
right?
And we
Oh, wow.
run out.
Look at this.
So this is fun, yeah.
Could you kind of lay that down for us so we get a
Yeah.
good look? Oh my goodness, look at that. There is a chunk of chocolate. Wow.
So we break it up and we put it in our tanks, which you looked at earlier. Yeah. So
And it comes in 3 varieties. It's either this is the milk.
there are many variations on milk, dark or white.
Ah.
So this is a brand of milk.
I see.
Yeah. And this, if you know about chocolates, white chocolate has no cocoa in it. It's not really cocoa. The milk chocolate has a lesser amount of cocoa. More sugar, and then dark chocolate or up to bittersweet chocolate has more cocoa in it. So the darker the chocolate, so our dark chocolate runs about 60 to 70% cocoa, which is nice. It's not bitter like the organic or the really high, because to me that's a little bitter. And for folks here in Illinois, they like a little sugar in their chocolate. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Devin, it took an hour to get this caramel ready. How do you know it's ready?
Well, years of experience, first of all. But, as you're looking at it here, you see that the bubbles are breaking and they're large. I tell people I train that they need to look like the craters on the moon. And also, there's just a tiny bit of foam. And you may not be able to see it, but I can see it.
I can see it.
Okay, good. A tiny bit of foam, and that too tells me that we're good to go.
Okay.
I do not use a thermometer, however, to check my caramel. I check it in a very, very old-fashioned way. Let me turn it off.
Okay.
All right.
Heat's gone.
Now, yeah. So I am going to drip some caramel into this ice water that I have over here. If I were an old Greek man, I would put my hand into the caramel to grab a bit and throw it in there. But I am not. I'm an old Greek woman. So instead, I do this, okay? And I get a little bit of that caramel in there. And then we're just going to test it by putting our hand in it. And I can tell that this is perfect.
Perfect, okay.
It
well,
is.
we want perfect.
It's a soft ball, and that's exactly what I want, because our caramel it's soft, but it's still chewy at the same time. It's really just yummy stuff. We don't like it to be too hard, because then people lose their teeth and they call us up complaining.
You don't want that.
No, you don't want that. And you don't want it too soft either, because you have to be able to work with it. Okay, it's perfect.
All
Would you
right.
like to feel this?
Well, while you're working,
Okay.
I'll feel it, okay? I'm going to get out of your way and let you get to the next step here.
Not everybody likes to plunge his hand into
Into the
ice water. Yeah. All right. Now, I am going to use a funnel. It looks a little bit like Tom Terrific's hat.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Okay.
Tin Man. Tin Man's
And the Tin Man, too. Yeah. All right. And a ladle. And we're going to put the caramel in here, and I'm going to make some turtles. We sell thousands and thousands and thousands of Paul's Pecan favorites every year. And it is a huge favorite around Christmas. And believe it or not, although you're catching us in the fall, we're already thinking about Christmas. Yeah. So, not that these are the turtles that will be sold at Christmas time.
they'll be. But you probably start taking orders.
You know,
probably
we are already. We have some orders.
Okay,
so
you've laid out your pecans.
I have.
Okay.
You know what?
And you control the amount that goes on there with a stick that's blocking the flow
It's
of the.
a dowel.
It's a dowel. Okay, a stick. Thank you.
It is a stick. You're right, though. But you know why these pecans are here? Because my 11-year-old Paul helped put them on the table after school yesterday.
That's tedious work. He's a good boy.
I know he's a good
he's a good
boy.
boy.
And a teenager. We hire a lot of teenagers, and a teenage worker helped him, and they had such a lovely chat while they did this. And these rows are nice and straight, so that helps me.
Okay, and now we saw the process of putting the caramel on the nuts. And now the next thing is the layer of chocolate, right? And that's what you're doing.
Right, so I've tempered my chocolate, and I put the bottoms of the turtles first, or the Paul Pecan's favorites, and then I put their little shells on top.
I see. So you don't dip both sides. You sort of finger it on the top.
I do.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Well, that's different. I mean, I would think.
Well, that's how I was taught, and that's what we do.
Well, and
right?
that's the way they did it 100 years ago,
and that's what
the
we
way
do.
we're still doing
Yeah,
it.
so we do that.
Okay, and then when you're finished, you end up with a tray of turtles or Paul's, what are they called?
Paul's Pecan favorites.
Paul's Pecan favorites. And that's the finished product. And boy, you can see that caramel oozing out of there and that chocolate piled up on there. It looks delicious.
Stuff. Great. They are good. I enjoy turtles, and they're fun to dip, actually. And everybody who learns to dip learns turtles first. So even my husband can dip turtles.
Testament to how easy it is. Huh?
Well, it's not that easy, but you know, yeah. And at Christmas time, we've had 5 people in here dipping turtles all at the same time. Kind of fun.
Mark, it's time to lift.
All right. Devin, I guess everybody that comes in this kitchen works, right?
Pretty much. If you hang out for more than 10 minutes, we put an apron on you.
I'll be
Yeah.
lining up pecans here before the day's over.
Thaning you. All right, Ann and I are going to dip apples.
Good, I want to see this
We
process.
need to get them done quickly because the caramel is perfect right now. Perfect.
It has to be the right temperature, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Or it
that's
just,
what we just did.
won't stick?
Right, well, true. You know, and we have to swirl a little bit, as you may recall, sister. Yeah.
It's been a while since Ann did apples.
I
so-
have not.
That's okay,
Maybe
but
it's
you
for
know
a year.
what? Anybody, it comes right back. It's like riding a bike, really. I
Uh-huh.
mean, I hate to use cliches, but they are apples.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
and you've oiled
Good.
this table so the caramel won't stick.
Uh-huh.
And then what will go on here? Do you put nuts or anything on them
Well,
too?
we do sometimes, but I have an order for a few dozen plain, so we're doing plain. Sometimes we'll put little candy corn on top, cute.
Yeah.
Or sprinkles, or we'll do crushed peanuts. We have some folks who order specialty apples, and we'll put chocolate on them, and almonds and pecans. They're gorgeous and so yummy.
And you've got orders already. It's September and you've got
sure.
orders for these.
Sure.
And these will be huge around Halloween, I'm sure.
Oh, they will. I'll be working, 13-hour days.
Yeah.
No
And what kind of
doubt
apples
about
do you
it.
use?
These are Granny Smith, and they're so tart and lovely, and they have good shelf life. They also, it's just a nice combination with the sweet caramel. I love it. So.
Well, they certainly do look delicious. And you're not chintzy with the caramel either. I
No,
like the way it
especially
drips
Ann.
off.
Yeah.
And it
There
stays
goes
right.
the profit.
Well, hers has a little hat on it. See?
It does.
Has a little
Isn't
hat
that
on it.
delightful?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, yep. Got to get more
Okay.
apples.
That's right.
Well, ladies, this has been a real pleasure. Can I pick this up?
Sure.
Yeah, I can.
I
Look
think
at that.
you should.
Oh, it's perfect.
You can take it.
I can take it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I am going to have this for lunch today.
Oh, do.
This has been a great experience at Flessor's in Tuscola, and they tell me this caramel is made exactly as it was 100 years ago by Grandpa. With another Illinois story in Tuscola, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you. For a DVD copy of the program you've just seen, send 1995 to Network Knowledge, P.O. Box 6248, Springfield, Illinois 62708. Be sure to include the program name, subject, and when the program aired. You can also order with your credit card by calling 800-232-3605.